All right, so in this one, I'm going to talk about like how we can use WebDriver Manager to manage the dependencies, right? So in the previous video, we have seen like how we have to. In the previous video, we have seen like we have to pass in this Chrome driver executable. Like if you're working with Chrome driver or Gecko driver, if you're working with Firefox driver, right? But eh, but using this WebDriver Manager, so using WebDriver Manager, we can avoid these manual steps, because right now these are the manual steps. We are going to all these Chrome driver, the chromium.com. So we are manually downloading all these stuff. So right now these are the manual steps. We are manually downloading Chrome driver dot executables or the Gecko driver executables in order to work with the Firefox or Chrome driver, right? So these are the manual steps right now involved. But there is a better way of doing this, right? So we have WebDriver Manager, which comes to rescue, which actually provides us option to download uh, these executable files, right, directly from the web, and it will be doing all these steps on its own. We do not have to manually intervene in between in order to download this, right? So what we can do is, right, so firstly, we firstly we can remove all this step, right? We don't need this step because so this is the hard coding stuff, and this is the manual step, which is written on line number 8, right? So we can skip this step, and instead what we can do is, right, before and we can skip this step. So let me go to the browser and go to the Maven Central repository and search for WebDriver Manager, right? And once we do that, and go to this WebDriver Manager, right? Uh, this is like automated driver management and other help features for Selenium WebDriver in Java, right? So when I click on this WebDriver Manager link, what happens is like it will be showing up all these various versions of releases for WebDriver Manager, right? So let me try to select the first one, right? And let me copy this dependency, right? We have already seen how we work with the dependencies. And let me go to the form.xml file, which is present here, right? And let me paste it over here. And once I save this, this will automatically download the WebDriver Manager dependencies and jars, and also it will build the solution, right? So if I go to this Maven dependencies, you'll be seeing somewhere WebDriver Manager as well. So yes, at the bottom you can see like WebDriver Manager 5.3.2 has been downloaded. Right now you can see over here it has been downloaded. So same we have passed in the form.xml file. So same executable file has been, same jar file has been downloaded. So let me close this one, right? And come back to the, let me come back to the form.xml file. So this is like WebDriver Manager, which has been done, which has been created by the person named Bonnie Gricia, right? And what we will do is, let me go to the Chrome browser, which has been created by Bonnie Gricia. Show you something, right? The documentation of this Chrome, documentation of this WebDriver Manager. And let me scroll down a bit. All right, let me open a new tab and search for WebDriver Manager. Once you go to the first link over here, so this is the GitHub page for WebDriver Manager, where we have all the information regarding this WebDriver Manager. So WebDriver is nothing but it's an open source Java libraries that carry out open source Java library that carries out the management, like download, setup, and maintenance of the drivers required by Selenium WebDriver. Well, for example, the Chrome driver, Gecko driver, MS Edge driver, etc., in a fully automated manner, right? So in addition, WebDriver Manager provides the other relevant features, such as the capability to discover browser installed in the local system, building WebDriver objects such as Chrome driver, Firefox driver, Edge driver, etc., and running through browsers in Docker containers seamlessly. Documentation. So these are the various documentation we have for WebDriver Manager, right? If I go below here, under this driver manager. So you'll be seeing like the primary use of your driver manager is automation of driver management. Because right now what we are doing is we are manually downloading these executable files and we are placing inside our Selenium automation project, right? But to avoid these steps, these are the manual steps, so not recommended at all since we are working on the automation part. So our focus should be towards automation and the inclination towards the automation. So what we can do is like we can make use of this WebDriver Manager, and let's try to understand how we can use this WebDriver Manager, right? So we have some format over here. If I take you to this link and show you like what all data we have here. So previously this was the approach we used to follow, right? So which is like the old approach. And right now, what we are doing is that inside the setup, what we have to do is like we have to basically download the dependency for this WebDriver Manager, and like this, it will be coming up, right? And if I scroll down, I'll show you like how it works actually. Yes. So this is the WebDriver Manager, right? So these are the various, you can say the commands, and you have to write all these lines of code. If you are working with the Chrome browser, then you have to pass in this first line of code. If you are working with Firefox, then you have to pass in this second line of code. If you are working with Edge driver, then you have to pass this one. And if you are working with the driver, this is the line of statement of code. If you are working with Chromium driver, this is the line of code. I think this is for iDriver. So like this, they have provided all these options, right? Whichever browser you are working right now, so you can do the setup with these line of code, right? But before writing this, you have to ensure like you are already putting this WebDriver Manager dependency in the pom.xml. If you're not putting it, then you will be getting error, right? So that is the precondition. Let me scroll down a bit. I think we are good to go. So let's go back to the So in the Eclipse, I have already added this dependency for WebDriver Manager, which is like 5.3.2, and it has been already added inside this Maven dependency section. Let me scroll down to the top. Let me scroll down, right, and show you like this is WebDriver Manager. And if I just collapse this one, right, and if I go to this Chrome browser test, and right now we have used the old approach in which like we are passing the executable file inside the project and we are mapping inside this system.set property, right? And then we are launching Chrome browser. But after we add these WebDriver Manager in the pom.xml, so we can avoid all these steps. Right now, what we'll do is like we will just comment out this portion, right? And just comment out this one, and instead of this, right, I'll just copy the lines that was mentioned inside this WebDriver Manager website, right? So right now we are working with the Chrome browser, so we have to use the first option, right? So let me try to copy this and paste it here. And why we are getting here is right now it is asking you to import this. Right now it is asking us to import WebDriver Manager. So let me quickly import this and save this one. Let's control this from the keyboard. And once you do that, errors are gone. Yes, errors are gone now. And what we can do is right click and run as Java application. So it has started launching Chrome browser. Now it is navigated to google.com, and now it will print the title of this page, so which is Google. All right, so I think this is working fine. Now we don't need these executable files, right? This is working fine. So let's try to replicate the same steps in terms of like Firefox browser as well quickly. And in order to do that, let me first comment out this line and go to this website, right, Firefox. And let me try to make a minor change over here. Let me paste the code that we copied there. Let me import this one and right click and run as Java application. So I think it started launching now. Yes. So you can see that Firefox browser has been already launched and now it will navigate to google.com. Yes, it did navigate to the google.com and now it will enter the title. All right, so it is done. So let me close this console window. So in this video, we have seen um, how we can reduce the manual effort here, which was like to download these Chrome browser executables. And this is not the one-time activity, guys. So whenever there is some update on the browser, right, we keep on getting all these updates every now and then, right? So and every now and then we keep on getting all these updates. So in that scenario, we have to always download these executable files from the web, and we have to pass in inside the project, and we have to pass location as well if it is not dynamic, right? So we have to ensure like we are passing the location as well, and also these executables should be updated regularly. So that is kind of overhead for the automation team. So what we can do here is to reduce the effort here, so we can make use of this WebDriver Manager, right? Also, there is one major problem there. So the major problem is like, let's say if you are working with multiple people inside a team, then it becomes really difficult to manage this, right? That somebody might be working on the older version of Chrome, somebody else might be working on version 10, right? So if there are five developers, they're working on five different version, and it is very difficult to manage. So the WebDriver Manager provides a solution to this, right? So whenever we have this form.xml, we'll be passing the latest version of WebDriver Manager inside the form.xml file, and when they download, when other person check out the code next day in the morning, so they will be having the latest home driver executable on their system, and it will be executing without any problem. So this is the perfect solution for maintaining the WebDriver, I mean the Chrome driver executable on the automation project. And there is no manual effort required here. So this will be always picking up the latest browser version executable, and it will be running it smoothly and seamlessly without any issue. So that's all in this video. Thanks for watching.